here's an overview of what we're seeing from a merger and acquisition perspective for the building product sector. For 2022, we saw a decrease actually in the building product sector by 24%. This is pretty consistent from 2021 breaking multiple records across multiple different industries. But it's still a pretty good and consistent curve upwards for building products investment, especially backed by a number of the initiatives set by Donald Trump, previous president of the United States, for the infrastructure upgrades for the US, and therefore we anticipate to continue to see those increases in 2023. Interestingly enough, although we saw a bit of a decrease in the actual number of deals, we actually saw an increase in the value of building products acquisitions. So building products acquisitions totaled 22.1 billion, and the previous year in 2021, we saw 20 billion roughly of around acquisitional value. So although the numbers have decreased, we've seen a huge amount of large acquisitions that have driven that number as an increase as a total value globally. That total overview of the increase in expenditure and capital acquisitions on M&A gives us a good indication that there's still obviously dry powder and an interest in particularly the building product space. Although, like every industry at the moment, we do anticipate that we will see some effect from obviously the increasing rate increases and therefore making financial transactions lower because the rate of borrowing and the cost of debt continues to rise. So we're always interested to see what level of private equity involvement that we see within these transactions. Now, for some industries, we see above 60% for private equity involvement. That's not yet seen in the, certainly of last year, for the M&A market for building products. About 68% of that was strategic investment. So private equity still got some work to do to catch up on some of those investments on what the strategics are currently doing of mopping up what is a very fragmented and very open industry. From what we saw from the actual valuations, remained pretty steady with 2021. The average building products, which I appreciate is a wide space, but it's doing pretty good numbers at 9.8, remaining pretty steady over the last 3 years, but still a very high exit multiple number, hence why we predict that private equity will continue its investment and begin to take more market share from some of the strategic offerings. For point of reference, 2021 saw an average exit multiple of 10.2, so 9.8, 10.2, bit of a depressive market. We're seeing a bit of a downturn, not too much affected by obviously talks of recession, potential of a recession, but also Fed increases, rate increases. So you can see how that's pretty remaining strong. Look, clearly is a decrease, but in consideration with the market post-COVID boom, that's a pretty impressive retention. And we've seen other industries drop significantly from in comparison with building products. Building products sitting around 9.8 with 2022 in comparison with 2021, but the construction services market sitting around 7.8. So a significant increase with regards to building products and the product side having a stronger exit EBITDA multiple than the services side of the industry. An interesting side of that is that the public strategics companies that we're seeing doing 19.4% of the acquisitions for last year and mopping up those smaller type players to consolidate into the large behemoths that we see on the public market in the building product space. For instance, KKR announced the sale of CHJ Overhead Doors, selling the business to Nucor, which was a $3 billion valuation, which gave a 13x on the EBITDA multiple, which is one of the largest of KKR's history, according to press releases. The industry continues with lots and lots of major acquisitions and lots of talks with various different private equity firms that are focused on the building products market and having more and more interest in that general industrial building products focused organizations, both in the lower, middle, but also, as you heard, in the large cap space. Royal Selection has a specialist division within this area where we specialize in placing C-suite executives into building products manufacturers and works with a variety of different organizations, including Middle Ground Capital, Drum Capital, both US private equity firms that have a significant proportion of their portfolio in the building product space. For further information on how we can support you, either with securing C-suite talent for your portfolio companies, or if you're a C-suite executive exploring your next step in the building product space, please reach out to us. Best email address for me is alex.rawlings@raw-selection.com.